Plaintiff Ricky Chandler is suing his roommate, Jonathan Johnson, for a bail bond and stolen money. Ricky says the defendant has been in jail more than once, but most recently for driving Ricky's car on a suspended license. But Jonathan says he only drove the plaintiff's car because he was too drunk to drive, and he doesn't believe the money Ricky says was stolen even existed.
Okay, Ricky Chandler is suing Jonathan Johnson, his roommate, for bail and money and stolen money. Ricky, how did you meet the defendant?
Well, Your Honor, we've been friends for a long time. I've known him for over 10 years. I used to have a big crush on his sister, so I used to walk home from school with them, and have been friends for a long time since. Tight like family. And we've been in a lot of little scuffles and fights, but nothing really serious involving
with each other?
Money. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And for each other as well.
For each other?
Correct. And
you fight for each other? Is this something you do on a regular basis?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We try to avoid.
Good.
Yes. But John's been in a little bit of trouble. He's been in jail a couple times. He got into some serious trouble. And
what are you jailed for, John?
I went to jail over assault and battery with a motor vehicle.
Who'd you hit?
It was a guy in Indianapolis. It was actually a foreman on the job site.
Were you working on this job site?
Yes.
And you hit the foreman with your car?
It was the way that it all went down, though. The guy actually came to the vehicle that I was driving is how he got hit by the vehicle. I didn't take the vehicle and actually aim at him.
So why were you convicted, Jonathan?
Just more or less, the lawyer that I had wasn't a very good lawyer. The guy that I had, I paid him 10 grand for the lawyer fees and everything, and when I went to court, he just told me he signed this plea agreement.
So you pled guilty, too?
Yeah.
That's enough. Go ahead.
Well, John was incarcerated again toward the end of September, I think September 29th. He was driving my vehicle with a suspended license. I did, in fact, ask him to drive for me because I had been drinking. He told me his license was suspended, but he assured me that if anything, he'd get a ticket and it wouldn't be a big deal. Well, we got pulled over.
Why are you asking him? You were drinking?
I had been drinking. We were out, and I had been drinking, and I didn't want to drive because I had had a couple.
So
drinks.
he asked him to drive. He said, my license is suspended, but
I tried to do
you
the
said,
lesser
don't
of two
worry
evils.
about it?
Well, no, he said it shouldn't be a big deal. We weren't going far, and we thought we'd make it, and it would be better to have
Stop with the
a sober
excuses.
driver.
You knew. You know what's interesting? You know what you just said to me? You said, I was drinking, and therefore I didn't want to get behind the wheel of a car and get arrested for drunk driving, but I knew he had a problem, so whatever, let him drive.
I just tried to do the lesser of the two wrongs. And
Oh, baloney. You were just looking out for yourself, the lesser of two wrongs.
Well, I can see how it looks that way.
You can.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so why are you suing him?
Well, I ended up bonding him out of jail for...
That night?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am. I bonded him out that night, and he agreed to pay me back by October 15th, which is when rent was due, and I needed to have the money back.
Do you have this in writing, this agreement?
No, we didn't have that in writing. No, that was
Did you
verbal.
agree to pay him back?
Yes, ma'am.
You did?
It was a verbal agreement. When I went to jail, he said, I've got the money at home. Don't worry, I'll come bail you out. It's my fault. I said, all right, When he bailed me out, I told him rent's due on the 15th. I'm about to get paid from the job that I'm working right now. So when I get that, I'll go ahead and give you back the $1,000 for the bail.
Well, a few days later, I stayed out overnight with the girlfriend, went to the clubs and stayed at a hotel. And while I was gone, whatever the defendant had going on at the house, when I came home, there was $1,200 cash missing from my bedroom. And he said that him or his friends didn't take it, and he didn't believe that it was there. And he also agreed that he said if someone took money from my room, that he felt like he would be responsible for it because of his negligence by letting them in. But he thought I was lying and that there was never any money in there. So we were both drinking. It got heated. It got physical. We got into a fight. We both tussled, ended up on the ground, hitting him. He hit me. I elbowed him in his face and damaged his face.
Anybody get arrested?
No one was arrested. We didn't get the police involved. We're like family. We try not to put each other in jail, at least. So, but
like family. We assault each other. We don't involve the police.
Brotherly fights, Your Honor.
What?
Brotherly fights.
Brotherly fights. Okay. Why did you have $1,200 in your bedroom?
Well, I make music. I rap, and I had a judgment recently, and I was using that money to buy and sell CDs, make CDs, produce music. So that was money that I had. I had money in the bank.
Had you ever been missing money from your bedroom before?
Never. I've never had any problems like that whatsoever.
And there's no lock on the bedroom door?
There's a lock, but you can get right through. It's just a one little lock.
So did you lock the door the night that you locked to take your girlfriend out?
The door was locked. Someone would have had to have used a card or a butter knife or something to pop the door.
Who came to the house that night,
It was
Jonathan?
just me and a couple of females I know and another buddy.
Okay, so you had your own little party while he's gone. Did anyone go in that room?
You know, like I told him, I'd never seen anyone go into that room, but where our bedrooms are, our bathroom is at the other end of the hall.
So there were guy, girl?
Yes.
They stayed the night?
Well, they left about 6 in the morning.
Kind of stayed the night. How many bedrooms in the house?
3.
3. That complicates things. Because it's you and a girl and another guy and a girl. What bedroom did they use?
Spare bedroom.
What makes you think he or his friends took the money?
Well, the fact that the money came up missing while I was gone, I know the money was there. I put the money there, and like you asked, we've never had a problem in the past. I don't think John took it. I'm very confident it was one of the people he had over. But I feel it was his negligence to let somebody in that would steal from us. So
you think he should be responsible for that money that's disappeared?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do, absolutely. While we were arguing about it, he even came to the agreement. He used the word if. If the money was there, if someone took it, that he should be responsible for paying. That was his agreement. And
do you have that in writing?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Let's see it. And let's see, do you have a bail receipt?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Thank you.
This is the bail receipt. I also have paper from the bank showing the transaction and showing, because when I got to the jail with cash to bond them out, and the lady that worked there was the one that said, when you bond somebody out with cash, the bond goes in their name. It'd be better if I used a credit card or a debit card, so that I had this paperwork from the bank showing that I bonded them out. So I brought that paperwork as well.
Okay, so you used cash to bail him out, then you had another $1,200.
No, ma'am. I came there with the cash to bail him out, but ended up using my debit card.
I, Jonathan R. Johnson, agree that if money was taken from Rick's room, it should be my responsibility to get it back or repay it. Did you sign this, Jonathan?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Yeah. Because I do feel like if there was money there, which I don't believe it was, because, I mean, right now, I just now found out about him using the credit card to bail me out. But the whole time my argument has been that if he bailed me out with this money that he told me was at home, he went home to get the money. This is the first I've heard about the debit card being used to bail me out.
So you were going to argue to me that he couldn't have had the money.
Exactly, because he was sitting here telling me that, you know, the night that I go to jail, he tells me that I've got the money at home, I'm going to go home and get it, and we'll be there to get you out of jail. I said, all right, since I was driving your vehicle, it's your request, trying to do you a favor, it's your responsibility, come get me out, he come to get me out. So I just thought that the money that he said was there at home is what he used. This is the first time I've heard about the debit card even being used, Your Honor.
Credit card. Definitely credit card. Okay. Why did you sign this saying that, you know, I agree that if money was taken, it should be my responsibility to pay it? Why would you do that?
Just like it's worded, if, because to me, I really did not believe that there was any money there. That's why I put that there, if, because I didn't think that it was even going to come down to...
Let's assume he paid your bail with a credit card, Jonathan. How does that confirm in your mind that he had $1,200 in the bedroom anyway?
Because we had actually just I was with him when he picked up the money.
So you knew he had cash?
Yes, I knew that he had the cash because we had went to go and get some CDs. Like he told you, he does rap and all that. We were going to get CDs, so he went and got the $1,200, you know, so he could pay for his music, CDs and all this. And then he was going to use that to bail me out of jail. That's why I said even with the thing with the credit card now, that's kind of a...
What about the bail money?
The bail, I mean, he told me he'd bail me out because it was his fault that I was driving.
You figure that because he asked you to drive and he knew that you had a suspended license, he should be responsible for the bail.
The reason I feel that he was responsible is because he said, I'll get you out. It's my fault you were driving.
And the reason you were driving with a suspended license is because you would run over your foreman, and that was the basis for the suspension of the license.
Yes.
Yes. What do you want to say, Ricky?
He's just saying that he shouldn't pay because I asked him to drive, but he agreed to pay me back by the 15th, and it's been a whole month. He hasn't made any efforts. He's trying to hold the fight.
So did you or did you not agree to pay him back?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
So you know you're contradicting yourself.
Yes.
On the one hand, you're saying you shouldn't have to pay him back because he asked you to do it, and on the other hand, you say, yeah, but I agreed to pay him back.
I did agree to pay him back.
Here's the bottom line. You knew you had a suspended license. He knew you had a suspended license. Ricky is smarter than you are, because at the end of the day, he knew he was drunk. He didn't want to be arrested for driving drunk, so he asked you to drive for him when he should have just spent $12 on a cab instead of $1,200 bailing you out of jail and putting you at risk.
I agree with that.
And you know what? I have a feeling you're probably a nice guy, or else you're a real criminal. I'm not sure. Because either you're a nice guy, you tried to help him out by not getting arrested, and you should recognize that.
Absolutely.
And as far as I'm concerned, you're every bit as at fault as he is for saying, I don't want to get arrested because I'm driving drunk, but even though you ran over somebody, you got a suspended license, I'll take care of it if there's a problem. And just for that, I'm going to punish you for that. But I'm going to get to that in a minute. All right, now, At the end of the day, you signed a contract.
Yes, ma'am.
And you say in this contract that if money was taken from Rick's room, it should be my responsibility to repay it. Both of you have established to my satisfaction that there was money in the room. Now, the issue is whether or not the defendant is liable to the plaintiff for stealing money or at least covering the money in breach of contract for the bail. If the plaintiff makes an expenditure on behalf of the defendant and the defendant agrees to pay it back, then what you've got is a contract and the defendant is obligated to pay as agreed. The plaintiff is saying, look, I expended exactly $1,100? Is that what we're talking about on the bail?
$1,196. There was like a $96 fee for using
$1,095. So it's not 11.
No, it should be
It's $1,000 and $95 service fee is $1,095.
Right, that's the paper showing it, and then the other one is the receipt. There's actually a fee for using the credit card. So it was like $1,195.
No. It's $1,095. $1,095.
Okay, maybe I just...
$1,095.
This, $1,095, that's what I thought I was saying. That's 1,000.
You should stop.
Done, Your Honor.
Okay. So, now the issue is the repayment of the bail money. All right? I have some problems with that. You're going to get your $1,200 for the money that was missing because he has agreed to pay it. You both agree it was there. Don't ever do something like this again. That's
Stupidity on my
stupid.
behalf.
Stupid. You understand that?
Yes.
You're not responsible. You can't prove it.
Well,
Unless he's got a witness. You've been through the criminal justice system. He cannot prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you took that money, but you agreed to pay for it in the event it's gone. I believe it was there and it's gone. Stupid. All right, you're paying. Now, the bail. Because I'm mad at you for making him drive when you wanted to cover your own butt and make sure you didn't get arrested but didn't care if he got arrested. I'm not giving you the money for the bail. So there. Verdict $1,200 though for the money that's missing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.